Breaking news right now, you are looking at a live feed of our Chopper 46. This is along Singleton Road where there is currently an investigation into a shooting involving an officer. Now, our Atlanta News First crews are en route to the scene. We are going to continue to follow this story and bring you the latest of what we know, but here is what we know so far directly from Gwinnett Police Department. They are investigating a shooting involving an officer. We know that several members of the Gwinnett Police Department are en route to the scene to offer assistance and conduct this investigation. Our crews are also en route and headed there now. We are going to get you more information, possibly a better visual from the ground as soon as our crews do arrive, but there is currently an ongoing and active investigation into a recent shooting involving an officer. For those that might be just joining us, this is a live look from our Chopper 46 into an investigation on Singleton Road. This is in Gwinnett County. We know the Gwinnett County Police are on scene right now investigating a shooting involving an officer. Now, we just got word of this recently. Our crews are already en route to the scene and our teams are working to get you more information. But what we can tell you right now is this is an active investigation. We know that there was a shooting recently involving a Gwinnett County Police Department officer. That is what we're following at this very moment. What you're looking at here is a present live picture from our Chopper 46. We are continuing to follow those details. We know that more investigators are also headed to the scene to help out with this investigation. Hopefully we will get more information from them as soon as we are able to connect. For the time being, our teams are working hard in communication with Gwinnett County officials to get a better understanding of what happened here. I can tell you, if you are in this area or planning to head down this way, northbound on Jimmy Carter and southbound, partially blocked. Traffic is moving very slowly in this area due to this investigation. We want to avoid this road as much as possible and the surrounding areas. I'm going to work to pull up a map here to show you a better idea of what this specific area is, but this is a residential neighborhood. There are a lot of homes in this area, a lot of traffic moving through, as you can see. So expect closures, expect traffic to slow down in this area as this investigation heads underway. Typically with investigations like these are several hours long, so you can expect that traffic to linger for some time this morning. We are going to pull up a map here shortly, if you guys give me a moment, and I will show you the nearby surrounding areas, some alternate routes you can take as well. You can also see GBI on scene assisting with the investigation. Typically, anytime there is a shooting involving an officer, GBI is involved. In this case, they have arrived to the scene. Several investigators are going to be looking into this. We are still working to confirm the details of what exactly took place and who was involved, whether there were any arrests made. Currently, we do not know that information. Our crews are headed to the scene. We're expecting to connect with them as soon as they touch the ground here in Singleton Road, and we'll get you a better picture from the ground. Our reporter Dawn Shipman is en route to the scene. If you have any questions concerning the area, maybe this is a place that you're passing through today or planning to pass through, drop them in the comments. We'll pass them along to our reporters and the rest of our team that are working this story, and we'll get you those answers. But for those looking at traffic, this is along Singleton Road and Jimmy Carter Boulevard. You want to avoid that area. Southbound lanes of Jimmy Carter Boulevard are partially blocked at this time. As you can see, traffic moving slowly. We can expect that traffic to increase as more cars hit the road throughout today. But typically with these investigations, these are several hours long, especially when there's GBI involvement. So you can expect that traffic to continue. We will let you know when those lanes open up again. But currently, just to reiterate for those that might be jumping in right now, this is a shooting involving an officer right along Singleton Road and Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Now, police tell us that those southbound lanes you're looking at right now of Jimmy Carter Boulevard are partially blocked at this time due to this ongoing investigation. We know that Gwinnett Police Department and the GBI are both involved in this. What we are working on learning right now is whether there have been any arrests, injuries, and what exactly took place that led to this investigation. Our crews are en route. They're going to be touching the ground here shortly. We're going to connect with them, hopefully get you a picture, a closer picture of this crime scene, and get you more details as we learn them. I did say I was going to pull up a map for you guys. I did manage to get that map loaded up. This is on the intersection of Singleton Road and Jimmy Carter Boulevard, the southbound lanes. I believe one of them is closed at the moment. There is a partial blocking of that lane as police and GBI are on the scene investigating this shooting involving an officer. But let me see if I can zoom in here for you guys. Bear with me. I'm sharing my screen. You can see this is a heavily residential area, some businesses nearby. As you can see from our Chopper 46, I'll try to bring that shot back to you. That is an area with a lot of traffic. You can see some of those cars moving through here. There you go. So you can see that live video from our Chopper 46 along with this picture of the nearby area, some of the businesses nearby. But this route, this two-lane route, both southbound and northbound lanes are heavily trafficked. This is a residential area where the shooting took place. Again, Singleton Road and Jimmy Carter Boulevard. You want to look at some alternate routes right now. If you're headed in this direction or know somebody who's headed in the direction, you can see some of those cars already slowing down. That's expected to ramp up as this investigation continues. With the GBI involved, we can expect this to possibly take several hours for them to fully conduct this investigation. Again, Singleton Road and Jimmy Carter Boulevard, partial shutdown of southbound lanes in the area as this investigation heads on. Please avoid this area at all if you can. If you're trying to make it to your destination, find some alternate routes. I don't know if you can see my mouse on this left-hand side. That is where this shooting is taking place, the intersection of Singleton Road and Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Now, we are very early on in this investigation in the details of what took place here, but we do know that there was a shooting involving an officer. That can mean a number of things. That could either mean the officer was injured, or it could mean that the officer, somebody was injured by an officer. What I can tell you right now is we don't have either of that information confirmed. What we were told by police was that there was a shooting involving an officer. We are working to learn who the injured were, if there were any injuries, and if there have been any arrests made. So far, what we can tell you is that this is along Singleton Road and Jimmy Carter Boulevard. The shooting took place earlier in the day. Now there is an investigation with the GBI on scene and assisting, leading the front on this, as well as Gwinnett Police Department. You can see several of those police vehicles from our Chopper 46 on the scene assisting. This is a partial closure of this road that is going to possibly continue for several hours. Talk about an investigation involving an officer with the involvement of the GBI. This is something that could keep that road partially closed for some time, possibly into your lunch hour. Now, we might lose our visual here from our Chopper 46 shortly. I do want to bring you back to the map once we do, just to show you the vicinity of this location. But we are working on getting details. As soon as our reporter, Don Shipman, is on the ground, we'll connect with him and hopefully get you a visual back of this developing story and get you those details confirmed that I mentioned earlier. Again, we're looking to confirm who was involved in this and how this all started and how long you can expect that road to remain closed if you are planning on passing through. All right, I do want to let you guys know I just spoke to our reporter, Don Shipman. He said that they just got to the scene. They are working on getting that camera visual up so we can show you what exactly is developing right now. I want to go over what we know and what we don't know and just be real with you. This is a very active and ongoing investigation, pretty early in the stage of its investigation. What we do know is there is a shooting involving an officer, and that's what prompted all this. Gwinnett County Police are on scene, as well as the GBI who is assisting. Now, what we are working on learning is whether there were any injuries in this case, who was involved and how this all started, as well as if there were any arrests made. I am also monitoring this roadblock on Singleton Road and Jimmy Carter Boulevard. There's about one lane closed right now, so if you are passing through that area, you can expect some traffic. The best thing you can do as this investigation remains ongoing is to just avoid this area as much as you can, and we will let you know when that clearance does take place. Right now, what we're waiting for is to connect with our reporter, Don Shipman. Hopefully he is going to be able to get some of those details confirmed for us as he talks to those investigators and gets more information. We're going to hold on to this map right here while we wait for that visual shot from the ground, and then we'll get you some new information as soon as it comes in. All right, we are about to hear from officials about the latest on what they know involving this investigation. I appreciate those that held on while I worked to talk with our reporter, Don Shipman, from the ground and get that visual back to you. What we're waiting for is to hear the details of who was involved in this, how this all got started, whether there were arrests or injuries. We do not know that information at this time. That is what we are hoping to get out of this update that will come momentarily. Now, I still have a few of you asking where this is. I'm going to pull up a map here while we are waiting for this briefing to start, this media update. This is on the intersection of Singleton Road and Jimmy Carter Boulevard. There's a partial shutdown of southbound lanes. About one lane is closed. That's where police vehicles and the GBI is staged. They are involved in this investigation. What we do know at this time is that there was a shooting involving an officer. We don't know the details past that. That's what we're about to hear from Gwinnett police officials about, hopefully. And our reporter, Don Shipman, he is on the ground. He's talking to these investigators, working to get that information back to us. As soon as we hear anything, we will bring it to you right here. This is very much a live stream where we are following this story with you and bringing you those developments. I do want to let you know what we know and what we don't know, and that is the information we have so far. If you are passing through this area, expect traffic. We've already seen from our Chopper 46 that we brought to you earlier, delays, vehicles slowing down in this area. I believe that press briefing is about to start here. Let's listen in.
Yes, shortly after 8:30 this morning, officers responded to a suspicious person call where the caller stated that there was a male with a handgun walking around in a soccer field. Upon arrival, officers attempted to speak to the male, and during the incident, the suspect pointed a gun at an officer. A Gwinnett County police officer fired at the male. The male was transported to a local hospital where he died of his injuries. At the hospital, a note was located on the male addressed to Gwinnett County Police. The GBI is currently on scene and they have taken over the investigation.
And do we have any idea what the note said?
The note is being investigated and has been turned over to the GBI. At this time, I'm unaware of what the note says.
Do we believe it's like a suicide note type thing?
It could presume to be. I cannot confirm that at this time.
Did the suspect fire at the officer?
The investigation is still evolving. GBI is on scene. I'm unaware if the male actually fired at the officer. We do know that the male pointed the gun at the officer during the incident.
Did the soccer field being used at the time?
The soccer field was not being used at the time. There was no kids at the soccer field. However, the soccer field is private property.
Okay, yeah, these private property, are those homes next door?
Those are the owners of the soccer field, yes.
Was the suspect shot on the soccer field? Outside?
The suspect was shot on private property. Where the exact location was, I don't know at this time.
We don't have anything.
We do know that he was an adult Hispanic male. The next of kin has not been notified. We are still trying to attempt to locate the next of kin.
Did you have an approximate age or age?
We do not know an approximate age. We do know that he was an adult male.
And going back to this letter, is there anything about it you can reveal or hint to?
What I could reveal about the letter is that it was addressed to Gwinnett County Police.
Who called in to say that this guy was here?
At this time, we're still trying to put everything together as far as who the caller was, but the caller did state that there was a male with the gun on the soccer field.
Do you think he was on the way to a police station, and this is where they just stopped him, or?
At this time, we don't know that information. We do know that the caller called in stating that the male was on the soccer field, and that's where officers encountered him.
Did the caller have any relation with that suspect?
It is unknown right now if the caller had any relation to the suspect or was just a passerby.
And how many?
What's the nearest Gwinnett police station to this location?
Our nearest precinct would be West Precinct. That's off of Jimmy Carter Boulevard, closer to 85.
And do we know how many times the suspect was shot?
At this time, the GBI is on scene, and that is information that they will be putting out.
How many shots were fired?
At this time, the GBI is on scene, and that's information that they will be disclosing.
How's the officer?
There was no injuries to the officers. That's pretty much.
How is that officer doing at the time?
He services have been provided to the officer. The GBI will be speaking to the officer as long as our detectives.
And is he on leave or investigation or anything like that while this process?
The GBI has taken over, and like with any officer involved shooting, there's protocols that we all follow.
And so, yes, he lived on some sort of leave.
We don't know at this time.
¿Puedes hablar en español?
Sí.
Ok. ¿Te puedo poner el micrófono?
Sí, claro.
En español.
Ujú.
Perfecto. Sorry guys, in Spanish. Ok.
¿Quiere que te mire a usted?
Sí, por favor.
Ok.
¿Me vas a contar qué es lo que están investigando?
So, ahorita estamos investigando un involucramiento con el policía, donde un policía de Gwinnett le disparó a una persona. La persona murió en el hospital, y en el hospital encontraron una nota en la bolsa del hombre dirigida a Gwinnett County Police.
Ok. ¿Cómo se enteraron ustedes? ¿Cómo vino la policía hasta acá? ¿Por qué?
Nos enteramos de la llamada cuando alguien llamó diciendo que había un hombre en el soccer field con una pistola. Cuando los oficiales llegaron, trataron de hablar con el hombre, y el hombre le enseñó la pistola al oficial. Fue cuando el oficial le disparó al hombre y llevaron al hombre al hospital, y fue donde él falleció.
Correcto. Te vuelvo a preguntar, ¿la nota era en contra de la policía? ¿Era una nota para la policía, una nota suicida o algo?
Era una nota para la policía de Gwinnett. Los detalles de la nota no los tenemos ahorita.
¿Sabes si era en inglés o en español?
No sé si era en inglés o en español.
¿Sabes si tiene algo que ver de pronto con la señora que dice que su esposo dejó una nota suicida también?
No sé si tiene conexión con la familia que acaba de llegar. Esa información no la tengo.
Pero la familia la está atendiendo. ¿Cuál es el proceso que están llevando a cabo con la familia ahora?
La familia todavía no ha sido notificada. No sabemos si la familia que acaba de llegar es sí exactamente la familia del señor.
¿Y la persona que está involucrada, la persona fallecida, es latina?
La persona fallecida sí es latina.
Es un hombre, más o menos de qué edad, ¿no?
No tenemos la edad, pero sí es un hombre de mayor edad, adulto.
Muy amable. Thank you.
All right, there you just heard from Gwinnett Police, the latest on this ongoing investigation into a shooting involving a Gwinnett police officer. I want to recap exactly what was said, because I know that was a lot of information. Right off the bat, when we first heard about this, we came on here to let you know that this happened along Singleton Road and Jimmy Carter Boulevard. We know now that this was near the vicinity of a soccer field in that area along that road. I do want to let you know how this all transpired. According to Gwinnett Police Department, this began as a suspicious person call. They responded. They said the 911 caller told police that there was a man allegedly with a gun at the soccer field. Police responded to the scene. That's when Gwinnett Police Department said that they saw the man and an officer confronted him. At that time, police alleged that the man pointed a gun at the officer, leading the officer to respond and fire. Now the man we know now, died of his injuries at the hospital. GBI was called to the scene and has taken over this investigation at this time. I am reading off the notes I took here while we were listening in on that press conference. This happened near that soccer field I was mentioning earlier. They would not confirm the exact location of the shooting. That is still to be determined as part of this investigation. But we do know that the man in question, that was the 911 call that was placed on that man that Gwinnett Police Department described, was described as a male adult. His age is not known at this time. We do not know the identity of this individual. We are going to continue to follow this. As you just saw from our reporter, Don Shipman, who is on the ground right now. We're going to be hearing from him in our noon o'clock hour. If you tune into Atlanta News First, download the Atlanta News First app. We'll have more for you there, as well as the continuing coverage on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. In the meantime, I will leave you with this. This is very much an ongoing investigation, and details are developing by the minute. We are going to continue to follow this throughout today and update you on those platforms.